The battle for the Galactic Academy lasted 6 hours. Yuna did not remember all of it. Her memories came in pieces, like broken glass. The hallway where she fought 2 more Ricks alone. The medical bay where she pulled Hana from a burning room. The moment when station security finally arrived and found her standing over 3 dead aliens. Her rod broken, her fist bloody, still ready to fight. When it was over, 37 Ricks had invaded the station. 22 were killed. The rest escaped in their ships, running from a battle they should have won easily. The human casualties, 2 injured. Yuna and Hana. The alien casualties, 117 dead, 300 wounded. The Vricks had cut through the students and staff like wind through leaves, except in the places where Yuna and Hana had been. Yuna woke up in a white room. Medical machines beeped around her. Tubes ran into her arms, pumping fluids and medicine into her body. She tried to sit up, but pain pushed her back down. "Don't move." She turned her head. Hana was in the bed next to her, wrapped in bandages. But Hana was smiling. "We're alive," Hana said. "Are we?" Yuna's voice was rough. Her throat felt like sand. "I can't feel my legs. The doctors say that's temporary. Something about nerve damage. It will heal." Of course it would heal. Human bodies always healed. That was what they did. The door opened. A being made of silver light floated into the room. Yuna recognized it, the station commander, a creature called Admiral Penn. She had seen him once, on the first day of school when he welcomed the new students. He had barely looked at the humans then. They were too small, too unimportant. He was looking at them now. "Miss Yuna, Miss Hana." His voice was like music played on crystal. "I trust you are recovering." "Slowly," Yuna said. "Human bodies heal quickly. I'm told you will be walking within a week." Admiral Penn floated closer. His silver light dimmed slightly, a sign of respect. "I have spoken with the survivors. They told me what you did. I confess, I did not believe them at first." "What did they tell you?" Hana asked. "That 2 human students, with no weapons and no training, killed 9 Rick soldiers. That you protected students who could not protect themselves. That you refused to hide or run or surrender." Admiral Penn's light flickered. "That you hunted the invaders through the station like predators hunting prey." Yuna said nothing. It had not felt like hunting. It had just felt like survival. "The Galactic Union has been at peace for 300 years, Admiral Penn continued. "We forgot what violence looks like. We forgot what warriors look like. We thought such things were primitive, uncivilized." He paused. "We were wrong. We're not warriors," Hana said quietly. "We're just students." "You are human," Admiral Penn replied. "And I am beginning to understand what that means." He floated toward the door, then stopped. "There will be a ceremony tomorrow. The Union wishes to honor both of you. Representatives from many worlds will attend. They want to see the Deathworld creatures who fought monsters with their bare hands." "We didn't fight alone," Yuna said. "The other students." "The other students hid?" "The other students ran. Only you fought." Admiral Penn's voice held no judgment, just truth. That is what they want to see. That is what they need to understand. He left. The door closed behind him. Yuna stared at the ceiling. Her body hurt. Her mind was tired. But something else was stirring inside her, something that felt like hope. "Do you think things will change?" Hana asked. "Yes," Yuna said. "Everything will change." She was right. The ceremony happened as Admiral Penn promised. Thousands of aliens gathered in the station's great hall to watch 2 small humans walk slowly to the stage. Yuna was limping. Hana needed a support device. But they walked without help. The representatives from different worlds stared at them with new eyes. These were the creatures from the Deathworld. These were the survivors. These were the beings who had faced monsters, and one. Admiral Penn spoke about bravery, about sacrifice, about the unexpected lessons the galaxy had learned. Then he asked Una to speak. She had not prepared anything. She did not know what to say, but she walked to the podium and looked out at the sea of alien faces. "You called Earth a death world," she said. Her voice was quiet, but every speaker in the hall carried it to every ear. "You're right. Everything on our planet wants to kill us. The animals, the weather, the diseases, each other." She paused. "But we survived. For millions of years, we survived. Not because we're the strongest or the fastest or the smartest. We survived because we never give up. Because we never stop fighting. Because when something tries to kill us, we fight back." The hall was silent. Thousands of beings held their breath. "You thought we were weak," Una continued. "You thought we were fragile. You looked at our soft skin and our small bodies, and you saw prey. But we're not prey. We've never been prey. We are the most successful predators our world has ever produced." She looked at Hannah, then back at the crowd. "We came here to learn. To be peaceful, to be civilized, and we can be those things. But when danger comes, when real danger comes, we will show you what humans really are. We will show you why nothing on our planet could kill us. We will show you why you should be very, very glad that we are friends." She stepped back from the podium. The hall erupted in sound clicks and chimes and rumbles and whistles. The voices of 40 different species trying to express what they were feeling. Fear, respect, wonder, and something new. Something that had not existed before. Trust. The galaxy had met humanity. The galaxy had seen what humans could do. And the galaxy would never look at them the same way again. Una walked off the stage with Hannah beside her. They did not speak. They did not need to. Behind them, the alien representatives were already talking, already planning, already changing their understanding of the universe. The quiet human girls had become something more. They had become symbols, examples, proof that strength came in many forms. Outside the great hall, through the windows, the stars burned cold and distant. Somewhere out there, the Vricks were regrouping, planning, preparing for their next attack. They would find a different galaxy waiting for them. A galaxy that now understood what humans were capable of. A galaxy that had 2 Death World warriors, ready to fight. Una looked at the stars and smiled. She was not invisible anymore. She was not quiet. She was human. And that was the most dangerous thing in the universe. The 5 Vricks charged forward like a wave of black armor and claws. The classroom erupted into chaos again. Students screamed and tried to run. Crystal beings shattered against walls. The octopus creatures squeezed through a crack in the floor, disappearing into the darkness below. Una did not run. She could not run. There was nowhere to go. So she did the only thing left. She attacked. Her metal rod connected with the first Vrix's knee, the same weak spot she had found before. The creature stumbled. Una ducked under its falling body and kept moving, heading straight for the second one. This was not fighting. This was hunting. Her grandmother had taught her the difference. Fighting was standing still and trading blows. Hunting was moving, always moving, never letting the prey know where you would be next. The second Vrix slashed at her. Una felt the claw tear across her back. Hot pain exploded through her body. She ignored it. Pain was just information. She spun and drove her rod into the creature's throat, hitting the soft spot between its armor plates. The Vrix gagged and grabbed at its neck. Una was already past it, moving toward the third one. Hannah was beside her, screaming, not in fear, but in fury. The transformation had happened to her too. The adrenaline, the ancient instincts, the thing that made humans dangerous. Hannah swung her broken furniture like a club, hitting everything that moved. The third Vrix caught Hannah's weapon and snapped it in half. But Hannah did not stop. She grabbed a shard of crystal from the floor part of a dead student's body and stabbed it into the creature's arm joint. Black blood sprayed. The Vrix howled. The students who were still alive watched in shock. They had never seen anything like this. They had never imagined anything like this. Two small humans, covered in blood, fighting monsters that should have killed them in seconds, and they were not losing. The fourth Vrix grabbed Yuna from behind. Two of its arms wrapped around her body, squeezing. Yuna felt her ribs creak. The air was pushed from her lungs, but humans had survived being crushed before. Humans had learned tricks. Yuna slammed her head backward, hitting the Vrix's face with the back of her skull. The creature's grip loosened for just a moment. One moment was enough. Yuna twisted free and drove her elbow into the same damaged joint she had hit on the first Vrix. The arm went limp. The creature screamed. Yuna's vision was starting to blur. She had lost too much blood. Her body was failing, but her mind was still clear, still sharp, still focused on one simple goal: survive. Kill to survive. That was the human way. That was the Deathworld way. The fifth Vrix was smarter than the others. It hung back, watching, learning. It saw how these humans moved, how they found the weak spots, how they refused to die. It made a decision. Instead of attacking Yuna and Hannah, it turned toward the remaining students. The crystal beings in the corner. The injured stone giant lying on the floor. Easy prey. Defenseless prey. Yuna saw what it was doing. No, she said. She ran. Her legs should not have been able to run. They were cut and bruised and exhausted. But she ran anyway. Humans could do that. Humans could push past the limits of their bodies when they needed to. She reached the fifth Vrix, just as it raised its claws over the crystal beings. She jumped onto its back, wrapping her arms around its neck. The creature thrashed, trying to throw her off. Its remaining arms reached back, claws scraping against her body. New wounds opened. Blood ran down her sides. Yuna did not let go. She squeezed. Her arms burned with effort. The Vrix's neck was thick and armored, but there was a gap. There was always a gap. She found it and pressed, cutting off the blood flow to the creature's brain. The Vrix's movements became slower, weaker. Its arms stopped reaching. Finally, it fell. Yuna fell with it, landing hard on the metal floor. She lay there, gasping, unable to move. Above her, she could see the ceiling lights flickering red. The alarm was still sounding. The invasion was still happening. But in this room, in this moment, the fight was over. Hannah limped over and collapsed beside her. Both humans were covered in blood, their own and the Vrix's. Both were barely conscious. Did we win? Hannah whispered. Yun looked at the five Vrix. 2 were dead. 3 were wounded, unable to continue fighting. All of them had been stopped by 2 small humans with no weapons, no armor, no training beyond what their grandmother had taught them. We survived, Yuna said. That's what matters. The crystal beings emerged slowly from their hiding place. They chimed softly, a sound of wonder and fear. You killed them, one said. Its voice was like wind chimes in a storm. You actually killed them. We hurt them, Yuna corrected. Her voice was weak. They're not all dead. But you fought. You attacked. The crystal being could not find the words. Why? Yuna closed her eyes. Her body was screaming for rest, for healing, for an end to the pain. But she answered anyway. Because you're our classmates. Because you couldn't defend yourselves. Because that's what humans do. Hannah laughed weakly. Also because we're crazy. The crystal being made a chiming sound that might have been agreement. In the distance. More screams echoed through the station. More Vricks were out there, hunting, killing. The invasion was far from over, but word was spreading. The students who had escaped the classroom were telling others what they had seen. 2 humans. 2 small, soft creatures from a death world, fighting monsters with their bare hands and winning. The galaxy had thought humans were weak. The galaxy had thought humans were lucky survivors from a dangerous planet. The galaxy was wrong. Yuna forced herself to sit up. Her vision swam. Her wounds throbbed. But she was not finished. There were more Vricks out there. More students to save. Where are you going? Hannah asked. To hunt, Yuna said. She picked up her bloody metal rod and stood on shaking legs. Behind her, the crystal beings watched in awe. In front of her, the door led to more danger, more enemies, more death. Yuna walked through it without hesitation. She was done being invisible. She was done being quiet. She was done pretending to be weak. The death world had made her. The death world had shaped her. And now the death world was going to save this station, 1 Vricks at a time. The Vricks tilted its head, studying the small human walking toward it. Click, click, click. The sound echoed in the silent classroom. All the other students had stopped screaming. They were watching now, frozen in fear and confusion. Why was this tiny creature approaching? Did it not understand death? Yuna understood death very well. She had grown up hearing about it. Her grandmother had killed 17 enemies in her lifetime. Her great-grandfather had survived a war that killed millions. Death was part of being human. Death was an old friend. The Vricks moved first. It lunged forward, 2 of its clawed arms reaching for Yuna's throat. Fast. So incredibly fast. Any other species would have died in that moment. But Yuna was not any other species. She dropped low, sliding under the claws. Her body moved without thinking. Years of secret training. Years of her grandmother's lessons. Her muscles knew what to do even when her mind did not. The metal rod swung up and connected with the Vricks' knee joint. The creature made a sound of surprise. Not pain, its armor was too thick for that. But surprise. This should not be happening. This weak thing should not be able to move like this. Yuna rolled away and stood up. Her breathing was controlled. Her hands were steady. Something had awakened inside her. Something that had been sleeping since the day she arrived at this station. Adrenaline, the human body's secret weapon. When danger came, the human body changed. The heart pumped faster. The muscles grew stronger. Pain became distant. Fear became fuel. Yuna felt it now, flooding through her blood like fire. She felt alive. More alive than she had felt in years. The Vricks attacked again. This time it used all 4 arms, slashing in a pattern designed to cut its prey into pieces. The claws whistled through the air. Yuna moved. She did not think about moving. She just moved. Duck, step, turn, duck again. The claws passed within centimeters of her skin, but never touched her. Humans could not match the Vricks for strength. Humans could not match its armor or its claws. But humans had something else. Humans had reflexes built by millions of years of dodging predators. Humans had brains that could predict movement, that could see patterns, that could find weakness. The Vricks was fast, but it was predictable. It attacked the same way every time. Slash, grab, slash. A simple pattern. An animal pattern. Yuna waited for the grab dot when the Vricks' arm reached for her. She did not dodge. Instead, she stepped into it, getting close to the creature's body. Too close for its long arms to be useful. She brought the metal rod up and jammed it into the joint where the arm met the body. This time, the Vricks screamed. It was a horrible sound, like metal scraping on metal. The arm went limp. Black liquid leaked from the damaged joint. The other students gasped. The crystal beings chimed in disbelief. This was impossible. This small, soft human had hurt the monster, but Yuna knew she was not winning. She had surprised the Vrix, that was all. It still had 3 working arms. It still had claws like knives. It still had teeth that could bite through bone dot, and now it was angry. The creature abandoned its careful hunting pattern. It threw itself at Yuna with all its remaining limbs, slashing wildly, trying to overwhelm her with speed and power. Yuna took a cut across her arm. The pain was sharp, but she pushed it away. Another cut on her leg. She kept moving. Blood ran down her skin, but she did not stop. Humans did not stop. That was the rule. No matter how much it hurt, no matter how tired you were, you kept going. You never, ever stopped. Yuna! Hannah's voice came from somewhere behind her. Yuna could not look. Could not take her eyes off the Vrix for even a second. Then something changed. Hannah appeared beside her, holding a piece of broken furniture like a weapon. Her face was pale and terrified, but she was there, standing with Yuna, ready to fight. "What are you doing?" Yuna gasped. "Being human," Hannah said. The Vrix paused. 2 of them now? 2 of these strange creatures that refused to run, refused to hide, refused to die. It clicked in confusion. This was not how prey behaved. Prey ran, prey screamed, prey begged for mercy. These creatures did none of those things. Yuna and Hannah moved apart, forcing the Vrix to divide its attention. It could not watch both of them at once. When it turned toward Hannah, Yuna struck at its back. When it turned toward Yuna, Hannah threw her weapon at its head. They were not strong enough to kill it. They were not fast enough to escape it. But they could confuse it. They could tire it. They could make it make mistakes. The Vrix roared in frustration. It grabbed the desk and threw it at Yuna. She dove aside, hitting the floor hard. Pain shot through her shoulder. "Get up," her grandmother's voice said in her mind. Pain is just information. It tells you that you are still alive. Get up and keep fighting. Yuna got up. Her arm was bleeding badly now. Her leg was weak. But she got up. The Vrix stared at her. For the first time, something like fear flickered in its body language. It had fought many species. It had killed many creatures. None of them had been like this. None of them had kept getting up. What were these humans? The answer was simple, but the Vrix did not know it, could not understand it. Humans were survivors. Humans had faced ice ages and plagues and predators and wars. Humans had survived everything their death world could throw at them. A single alien monster was nothing compared to the horrors of Earth. Yuna raised her metal rod again. Her hands were slippery with blood, but her grip was firm. "Come on," she said quietly. "I'm not finished yet." The Vrix made its clicking sound again. But this time, it took a step backward. Behind them, the classroom door burst open. More Vrix poured in, 3, 4, 5 of them. They saw their injured companion. They saw the 2 small humans standing bloody but unbroken. The new Vrix made sounds of confusion. What had happened here? How had these weak creatures done this? Yuna looked at Hannah. Hannah looked back. They both knew the truth. They could not fight 5 Vrix. They could barely fight 1. This was the end. But if it was the end, they would face it like humans. Standing, fighting, refusing to give up. Yuna planted her feet. Hannah moved beside her. Together, they faced the monsters. "For Earth," Yuna whispered. "For Earth," Hannah agreed. The Vrix attacked. 3 days later, Yuna was sitting in advanced biology class when the world changed. The morning had been normal. She had eaten breakfast alone. She had walked to class through the long curved hallways. She had taken her usual seat in the back corner. Hannah sat 4 rows ahead, near the window that looked out into space. The teacher today was called Dr. Venn. He was a tall being with green skin and 6 eyes that moved in different directions. He was talking about cellular regeneration in different species. Most civilized species heal slowly, Dr. Venn explained. A broken bone takes many months to repair. A deep cut might take weeks. This is normal. This is expected. He pressed a button and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a human skeleton, but humans are different. Yuna felt her stomach tighten. She knew what was coming. Humans heal at an alarming rate, Dr. Venn continued. A broken bone can repair in just a few weeks. Cuts close in days. Their bodies fight infection with frightening speed. Some scientists believe this is because Earth is so dangerous. Humans had to evolve fast healing, or they would die. A student raised a tentacle. It was a pink creature that looked like a large octopus. Is this why humans are so reckless? Because they know they will heal? Dr. Venn nodded all 6 of his eyes. Perhaps. Humans take risks that other species would never consider. They climb mountains. They swim in oceans full of predators. They fight each other for entertainment. Their bodies expect damage. Their bodies are built for it. Yuna looked down at her hands. Small hands. Soft hands. But she knew what they could do. She knew how fast they could move. She knew how hard they could hit. The lesson continued. Dr. Venn talked about human endurance. How humans could run for hours without stopping. How humans could survive without food for weeks. How humans could function even when badly injured, pushing through pain that would kill other species. In ancient times, Dr. Venn said, humans hunted by exhaustion. They would chase an animal for hours, for days, never stopping, never resting. The animal would eventually collapse from tiredness. Then the human would kill it. No other predator hunts like this. It is terrifying. The octopus student made a bubbling sound of fear. Yuna remembered her grandmother telling her about this. We are not the fastest, grandmother had said. We are not the strongest. But we never stop. That is what makes us dangerous. We never, ever stop. The memory was interrupted by a sound, a loud, screaming sound that filled the entire station. Red lights began to flash. The hologram of the human skeleton disappeared. Dr. Venn's 6 eyes all turned toward the ceiling. What is that? Someone asked. The sound came again. 3 short blasts. Then 3 long blasts. Then 3 short blasts again. Yuna knew that pattern. Every student knew it. They had learned it in their first week. It was the invasion alarm. Everyone stay calm, Dr. Venn said, but his voice was shaking. His green skin had turned pale. This is probably a drill. Stay in your seats. But it was not a drill. A voice came over the speakers, speaking in the common galactic language. Attention all students and staff. This is not a drill. The station has been breached by hostile forces. All personnel must proceed to the safe rooms immediately. Do not resist. Do not fight. Hide and wait for rescue. The classroom exploded into panic. Students screamed. They pushed toward the door. The octopus student squeezed through a gap in the furniture. The crystal beings chimed in terror. The stone-skinned giant simply stood frozen, unable to move. Calm down, Dr. Venn shouted. Single file. Single file. Nobody listened. Yuna stood up slowly. Her heart was beating fast, but her mind was clear. She looked across the room and found Hana. Hana's face was white with fear. Yuna walked through the chaos. Students pushed past her without seeing her. She was small. She was invisible. She reached Hana and grabbed her arm. What do we do? Hana whispered. We go to the safe rooms. Like they said. But what if... A new sound cut through the noise. It was an explosion. The floor shook. The lights flickered. Then came the screaming. Not from the classroom. From somewhere else. From the hallway. High, terrible screams of pain and fear. Dr. Venn moved to the door and looked outside. His 6 eyes went wide. Then he stepped back, his whole body trembling. "Close the door," he whispered. "Close it now." But it was too late. Something appeared in the doorway. Something Yuna had only seen in pictures. Something that should not exist in civilized space. AVRIX. It was tall, almost 3 meters. Its body was covered in black armor that looked like the shell of an insect. It had 4 arms, each ending in claws like curved knives. Its head was long and narrow, with no eyes that Yuna could see. Just a mouthful of teeth. The Rix made a clicking sound. Then it moved. It was fast. Faster than anything should be. It grabbed Dr. Venn with 2 of its arms and threw him against the wall. The green-skinned teacher hit hard and did not get up. Students screamed again. They ran in all directions. The crystal beings tried to hide under desks. The stone giant finally moved, running for the back door. The Rix caught him in 3 steps. Its claws opened his throat. Yuna watched. She did not scream. She did not run. Something was happening inside her. Something old. Something that had been sleeping for a long time. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her mind. When danger comes, most creatures have 2 choices: fight or flight. But humans have a 3rd choice. We can hunt. The Rix turned toward the remaining students. It clicked again, a sound of pleasure. It was enjoying this. It was having fun. It did not look at Yuna. She was small. She was invisible. She was not a threat. The creature walked toward a group of crystal beings huddled in the corner. They chimed in terror, unable to move, unable to run. Yuna's hand found a metal rod on the floor. Part of a broken desk. Heavy. Solid. Her fingers wrapped around it. Hana grabbed her arm. "Yuna, don't. We have to hide. We have to wait for rescue." Yuna looked at the crystal beings. They were her classmates. They had never been kind to her. They had laughed when Professor Liss mocked her. But they were students. They were children. They were about to die. "I'm done hiding," Yuna said. She stepped forward. The Rix heard her footstep and turned its eyeless head toward her. It clicked in confusion. This small, soft creature was approaching? This weak thing from a death world thought it could fight? The Rix made a sound that might have been laughter. Yuna did not laugh. Yuna did not smile. Yuna just kept walking, the metal rod tight in her hand, her heart beating steady and slow. 300 years of galactic peace. No enemies. No war. No fighting. It was about to end. Yuna always sat in the back corner of the classroom. She liked it there. Nobody looked at her. Nobody talked to her. She was invisible, and that was fine. The Galactic Academy was a massive space station floating between 3 star systems. Students came from over 40 different planets to study here. There were tall beings made of living crystal. There were small floating creatures that looked like jellyfish. There were giants with 4 arms and skin like stone. And then there were the 2 humans. Yuna and Hana. They were the only humans in the entire academy. Earth had only joined the Galactic Union 5 years ago. Humans were new. Humans were strange. Humans were from a death world. That was what the other species called Earth. A death world. A planet so dangerous that no sensible life form should have evolved there. The gravity was too strong. The weather was too violent. The animals were too deadly. The diseases were too many. Everything on Earth wanted to kill everything else. And somehow, humans had survived all of it. The other students did not understand how. They looked at Yuna and Hana and saw small, soft creatures. No claws, no fangs, no armor, no venom. Just soft pink skin and fragile bones. How could these weak beings come from such a terrible world? Most of them decided that humans must be very lucky, or very good at hiding. They treated Yuna and Hana like delicate flowers that might break at any moment. Yuna hated it. She sat in her corner and watched the other students. Today, the teacher was a being called Professor Liss. Liss was made of blue crystal that chimed softly when she moved. She was teaching about planetary defense systems. The most important thing, Professor Liss said, her voice like wind through glass tubes, is to avoid conflict. Fighting is primitive. Fighting is dangerous. A civilized species uses shields and barriers. We protect ourselves by hiding, not by attacking. Yuna wrote notes in her tablet, but her mind was somewhere else. She was thinking about her grandmother back on Earth. Her grandmother had been a soldier. She had fought in 3 wars. She had scars on her arms and a medal in a box under her bed. Grandmother never hid from anything. Miss Yuna. Yuna looked up. Professor Liss was staring at her with eyes like blue diamonds. Yes, Professor? You seem distracted. Perhaps you disagree with today's lesson? The whole class turned to look at her. 40 alien faces, all curious. Yuna felt her cheeks get warm. No, Professor. I was just listening. Humans are known to be aggressive, Professor Liss said. The words sounded dirty in her musical voice. Your species has a history of violence. Perhaps you think fighting is better than defense? Yuna stayed quiet for a moment. She could feel Hana looking at her from across the room. Hana's eyes said, "Don't make trouble. Just agree and move on." I think both are important, Yuna said carefully. Sometimes you need to defend, but sometimes you need to fight. Professor Liss made a sound like breaking glass. It was her species' way of laughing. And when would a human ever need to fight here? The Galactic Union has been at peace for 300 years. There are no enemies. There is no war. Your violent instincts are not needed in civilized space. Some students laughed too. A large being with stone skin made a rumbling sound of agreement. Yuna said nothing. She looked down at her tablet and continued writing. Her hand was tight around the stylus. Her heart was beating faster. But she kept her face calm and empty. This was what humans did. They hid their feelings. They stayed quiet. They waited out after class. Hana found her in the hallway. That was embarrassing, Hana said. She was taller than Yuna, with long black hair and worried eyes. Why did you say that? Now everyone thinks we're violent primitives. They already think that, Yuna said, but you made it worse. Yuna shrugged. I told the truth. Is that wrong? Hana sighed. It's not wrong. It's just difficult. We're already different. We don't need to be more different. They walked together toward the dining hall. The station was huge, with corridors that curved up and around like the inside of a giant wheel. Gravity was artificial here, lighter than Earth. Yuna always felt like she might float away. In the dining hall, they sat alone at a small table. No other species wanted to sit with them. Some were afraid of humans. Some just found them boring. Either way, Yuna and Hana ate their meals in silence, surrounded by empty chairs. Do you ever miss home? Hana asked quietly. Every day, Yuna said. Me too. Hana poked at her food. It was a purple paste that tasted like nothing. I miss rain. I miss trees. I miss my dog. Yuna nodded. She missed her grandmother. She missed the smell of her grandmother's cooking. She missed sitting on the porch and listening to stories about the old wars. Grandmother says humans don't belong in space, Yuna said. She says we're meant to have our feet on solid ground. Maybe she's right, maybe. But Yuna knew they couldn't go back. The scholarship program had sent them here to learn, to represent humanity, to show the galaxy that humans could be peaceful and civilized. So Yuna sat quietly. She took notes. She didn't fight. She didn't argue. She made herself small and invisible. But sometimes, late at night, she went to the station's gym. She ran on the machines until her legs burned. She hit the training bags until her knuckles were red. She practiced the fighting moves her grandmother had taught her, over and over, until her body remembered them without thinking. Nobody saw her do this. Nobody knew. They saw a quiet girl who sat in the back of class. They saw soft skin and fragile bones. They saw a weak creature from a death world who had somehow survived by luck. They didn't see the fire inside her. They didn't see the thousands of years of evolution that had made humans into the most dangerous predators on Earth. They didn't see the instincts sleeping in her blood, waiting to wake up. Una finished her food and stood up. "Where are you going?" Hannah asked. "To study," Una lied. She walked away, her footsteps quiet on the metal floor. She passed groups of alien students who barely looked at her. She was invisible. She was nothing for now.